The majority of Americans say that they believe in the deep state. That, according to a new Monmouth University poll, that survey found 74% of respondents believe the deep state exists, and 53% believe the government, our government, is engaging in widespread surveillance of American citizens. Joining us tonight, Republican Congressman Francis Rooney of Florida, Vice Chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, great to have you with us. Let's start with the Department of Justice. There's been little discussion of the National Security Division of the FBI, but it seems to be as compromised as the rest of the organization. Your thoughts first about the firing of McCabe at the recommendation, not of President Trump, but of the Office of Professional Responsibility.
Well, first about McCabe, you know, he's got his footprints over a lot of really bad behaviors recently. The partisan conspiring around with Orr and Strozek, maybe even his own office, according to their Twitters. Having his footprints on that defective FISA warrant that was based on the faulty Steele dossier, and then even worse, which is why I've been on that letter calling for a special counsel, what they did with covering up about Hillary Clinton's emails and evidently Huma Abedin's emails.
You know, and let me ask you, because in the call, it seems now, is irresistible. I can't even imagine Attorney General Sessions with congressmen like yourself, others throughout the House of Representatives, demanding that special counsel with all of the evidence of wrongdoing and corruption within the FBI and the Department of Justice. I can't imagine that there wouldn't be a second counsel installed by Attorney General Sessions. Can you?
No, I can't. I mean, let's just what's been put out in the printed media and on Fox and things. These 1 month delays before mentioning the emails in the middle of a political campaign. You talk about trying to influence a political campaign. That's influencing a political campaign.
And Comey and McCabe. I mean, basically, McCabe saying that Comey knew that he was leaking to the media, that he had at least tacit approval, if not overt approval, of his director at the time. This is getting worse and worse, it seems, with each development.
I'm telling you, it is. It stinks like three-day-old fish. That's why I think we do need that special prosecutor. And my only question about firing Comey was, why didn't the president do it the afternoon of January 20th, after the way he botched the Hillary Clinton, are we going to investigate her or not business?
Yeah, there are enough. I think that you ask a salient, inappropriate question. The trouble that is here is for the president, because he's got an organized effort funded by the taxpayer called a special counsel trying to subvert his administration while he's dealing with rhinos and the phony frauds within his own conference in the House of Representatives and in the U.S. Senate. And I'm talking about straightforwardly Mitch McConnell and Speaker Ryan and the leadership of both houses. In addition to that, he's got the deep state, the national left-wing media trying to tear him to pieces. And yet he keeps moving. I mean, he stands as strong as you could imagine anyone possibly doing, given the circumstances and, as I say, the 360-degree assault on his presidency.
Well, you know, the president's a business guy just like me. He comes from the real world where you have to be accountable for what you do, and you've got to take your share of beatings out there. And I admire him for standing up. I wouldn't fire Mueller. I would make Mueller be accountable, okay? I would show the public what we're spending, and I would say, how long is it going to take for you to prove something that you were hired to do? I mean, getting a conviction on 13 bad Russians is no big deal. They're everywhere.
Yeah, you know, it's an intriguing idea, but I have to tell you, frankly, I'm just so disgusted with Robert Mueller and the whole enterprise and the partisan, how did the president say it, hardened Democrats on that legal team. It's a partisan operation, full and four square, against the presidency. It's just, to me, appalling. You think he should put up with the special counsel?
I think he ought to disclose what Mueller's spending, and I think Sessions ought to give Mueller a deadline to either put up or shut up.
Yeah. Now, who's going to give Sessions a deadline that he'll pay any attention to? The man seems utterly oblivious.
Yeah, I think this is a time, be nice to, we talked about this one other time, have a Pam Bondi or someone, or a Ron DeSantis or Robert Bork in there.
Congressman, all interesting names and good ideas. Thanks for being with us. Congressman Rooney.
Thanks for having me.